Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session, building a multi-cloud event-driven POV solution with low-code integration. And I'm Juan Carlos Gonzalez. I'm integration domain specialist working for customers in Europe and Middle East, and happy to have you here. So, a high-level overview of the agenda. We're going to talk about the use case or the context of the solution. We're gonna move to the solution itself. What are the components of the solution? How we cover and use Oracle Cloud Services to cover it. Then we're gonna see a live demo where you're gonna see how we can build this event-driven solution from end to end using a low-code integration approach. And finally, you will see the Oracle Cloud architecture that makes it possible. So let's move on. So let's understand the use case. So what are the challenges around SaaS ERP business processes and projects? So according to the expense reduction analysts, orders to cover suppliers' invoices are raised retrospectively, adding further to delays. We have seen this in many customers. They are raising or processing the purchase orders at the end of the day or the day after, or even at the end of the week. So this causes many delays in the end-to-end procure-to-pay process, because imagine the suppliers that need to fulfill those orders have to fulfill that order and then transform that order into an invoice. That's the flipping process. If they are already spending a lot of time on that, why adding more delays in raising those purchase orders? So this is one of the challenges we have seen companies are dealing with. And on the other side, dynamic market says that business have missed SaaS project deadlines due to cloud integration problems. And this is another thing that we have seen in our customers, that they are using an old-fashioned approach for integration, like SOA and all of that. And the big investment that they did in the SaaS project moved to a large, expensive, and with a lot of resources integration project. So this is why a modern approach is needed in this kind of SaaS ERP applications. So this is where customers are struggling with right now. So let's go to the solution. So the first component of the solution is Oracle Integration Cloud. Oracle Integration Cloud is a PaaS service. It's an Oracle ready-to-use service that you provision, and it can connect, extend, and automate end-to-end business processes. So in this specific solution, we're going to use the application integration capabilities that we have, and it's called the business accelerators. So the business accelerators are like adapters or native adapters that we have that wrap up all the complexity when dealing with integrating with different applications like ERP applications, like Azure SQL databases and all of that. And this can speed up the implementation project, as well as it can speed up the business operations. When you combine Oracle Integration Cloud with other cloud services like streaming, OCI streaming, that is our Kafka-based service, we can enable in event-driven architectures that allows us to process purchase orders in real time, for instance. So when I say low-code, no-code approach, is that we have a vast list of connectors, like to Oracle ERP Cloud, to OCI streaming, and also to third-party databases like Microsoft Azure SQL database. And these native adapters basically can capture and can make easier the way you can deal and connect and integrate with those applications. So when talking about multi-cloud, Oracle Integration Cloud not only connects SaaS or cloud applications to on-prem applications, or even it can not only integrate SaaS to SaaS applications, it can also improve the security, the latency, the ease of use, and also to meet non-functional requirements around multi-cloud integration use cases. So we have different multi-cloud subcases. In this specific case, we're gonna see how we can enable a multi-cloud event-driven architecture. So one of the key enablers for a multi-cloud integration is the Oracle Integration Cloud's connectivity agent. The connectivity agent is basically a lightweight program that we deploy in the same private subnet where the Azure SQL database or the private resource is deployed, in this case, the Azure SQL database. And we deploy that connectivity agent in an Azure VM. So the connectivity agent is the one that is performing the upload or the insert into that database. It's not Oracle Integration Cloud directly. So the connectivity agent is basically allowing only outbound traffic. It doesn't allow inbound traffic. So this makes the whole architecture, end-to-end architecture, more secure. Also, when we're talking about multi-cloud integration, you know that multi-cloud is part of Oracle's strategy, and using OCI Azure Interconnect service that allowed us to establish a private interconnectivity between the two clouds and a hyper-fast way of connecting these two clouds. So it leverages the Fast Connect service in the Oracle Cloud side, and it leverages Express Route in the Microsoft Azure set. So what's the solution? It's an event-driven, real-time, and multi-cloud PO-Fit solution. How do we do that? We are going to use the no-code capabilities of Oracle Integration Cloud. So we're going to use the Oracle SaaS ERP Cloud adapter to capture or subscribe to purchase order events. So whenever a purchase order is created, updated, or canceled, we're going to capture that, and we're going to send that to our Kafka topic or Kafka service. How? Using the Oracle Cloud streaming service adapter. So once we have that producer integration flow, we're going to have a consumer integration flow that is going to use the OCI streaming adapter. We're going to capture and consume those purchase order feeds, and then we're going to send them to our Microsoft Azure SQL database. How do we do that? The connectivity agent is the one that is going to perform that load. And the connectivity agent is going to be associated with the connection that we establish in Oracle Integration Cloud. So let's see it live. So in order to explain what you're going to see and what we're going to set up from scratch, you need to understand demo story. The demo story is basically we're going to use Oracle Integration Cloud. We're going to set up one producer integration flow that is going to consume the purchase orders from ERP Cloud using the ERP Cloud adapter. And then we're going to use the OCI streaming adapter to publish those purchase order feeds into that PO topic. Then we're going to set up a consumer integration flow, which Oracle Integration Cloud is going to consume those PO feeds for, and then it's going to send them to Azure SQL database. Again, leveraging the connectivity agent that is actually the one that can access this private Azure SQL database. So let's see it in action.
So this is Oracle integration. I will click on integrations, and we will create the producer integration flow. So this will follow an app-driven orchestration pattern where this integration is going to be triggered by Oracle ERP Cloud. It's not a file-based integration or scheduled integration. So I will call this Oracle CloudWorld ERP Cloud PO2 and OCI streaming PO topic. So that will be my first producer integration flow. So the first thing is that I need to connect to ERP Cloud, and I will use that connection as my trigger of the integration. So I'm going to name this get PO event from ERP Cloud. Then I will select receive business events raised within ERP Cloud. So this is what the adapter does. It discovers all the events that can be published through the adapter. No other integration platform from another vendor can consume those events in real time. These events are published only through the Oracle Integration Cloud adapter. So we have different payable invoices, whenever a payable invoice is approved, canceled, created, we have those kind of events. In this case, I'm going to use the purchase order event. So whenever a purchase order is created, change, cancel, I will subscribe to that. So we click on next. I will not send anything back to your cloud. I just need to subscribe to that event. I click on next and then done. There we go. So the next step is to send those PO feeds to our Oracle Cloud Streaming Kafka topic. So how do we do that? So previously, I created an stream or a topic in our Oracle Cloud Streaming service. So you basically click on here, you give it a name, and you define the number of partitions or nodes this topic or stream is going to have. So the more partitions you have, that's the way you can achieve scalability. You can scale up. So I will use it here. So I will use that one. There we go. So I will call it send PO to stream. I will publish message to the stream. Which stream? This one, the PO stream that I created before. And I will use a JSON, that's the structure of the message I will publish. So in this case, it's a PO created JSON. So just for you to understand, this is just the order with the header, information, order number, status, procurement business unit, and then the items. Okay, that's the PO created JSON that I previously defined. So that's the one I'm using. So I click next and then click on done. There we go. We are almost done. So we need to map the information from ERP Cloud into OC Streaming. How do we do that? So we just click on the mapper, and I just need to map information from the left, that is ERP Cloud, the information from the PO that I capture, and then send it to the PO stream. So I will map the PO header ID, the order number, the document status code to the order status, the creation date, the procurement business unit, the build to business unit, the requisition business unit, the supplier, the buyer, the order amount, so it's here, the total tax amount, and the total tax amount and the total amount, right? Well, there we go. So for the purpose of the demo, I'm just mapping the header information. So I will validate it. I closed it. And that's it. I just need one more thing, that is which are the fields from the PO stream that I will use as a tracking field to be able to monitor my integrations using those fields. So I will use the order number and the document status code. So my order number will let us to easily monitor our integration, in this case, the producer integration flow. So that's it. We just need to activate the integration, and we have finalized the producer integration flow. We have done this part. So now we will set up the consumer integration flow. So we will capture the PO feeds from Oracle Cloud Streaming, and then we will send that to our Azure SQL database. So let's do that. So I will create another flow, app-driven as well. So this will be triggered by a Kafka topic when consuming that. So I will call it PO streams to our Azure SQL database, Oracle CloudWorld. Okay, create it. Good. So what I will do is just move it horizontally. I will use the same connection that we used before, but in this case, I will get the PO stream. I will name it like that. I will choose PO stream, And the way this works is consumer group. The consumer group represents like the different applications that can consume messages from a topic. In this case, I will call it consumer group 1. And the polling frequency to consume the feeds is just 1 second. I will use the same message structure, the JSON that I showed before. And there we go. We have that part. So now what we need is to connect to our Azure SQL database. So we need to create a connection using our Azure SQL database adapter that we have in OIC. But before doing this, remember that I said that we need to connect to through the connectivity agent. Okay, so just to explain this a little bit. This is what we already did, the first part, consuming the events and send them to OC streaming. So now we are already consuming the events using the streaming adapter, but we will send this to Azure SQL database. So we will host a connectivity agent in a VM, in an Azure VM that is in a private subnet, and we will connect, is the connectivity agent the one that connects directly to Azure SQL database. So this is not, this doesn't allow an inbound traffic. The connectivity agent only allows outbound traffic because it's a private connection between the connectivity agent and Oracle Integration Cloud. That's what we're going to do when setting up the connection. So let's do that. So actually, here is my Azure SQL database. So it's here, and this is the one that I have here. Okay, so I have defined a purchase order with the ID, the status, all that fields that I defined before. So I will create the connection to Azure SQL database. Okay, there we go. So I will use the SQL Server database that it not only works for Azure, it also works for on-prem Microsoft SQL Server databases as well. So I will call it Azure SQL database, Oracle CloudWorld. And in this case, I will use it just as an invoke because I just need to send the information there. So we will need to set up these parameters. So I need the host name, and the host name of the server is this one. There we go. The port, the name of the database, Azure SQL DB Oracle CloudWorld. So that's the one I will use in my connection. And also, as I set up this database to use TLS 1.2, so we will need to provide that in the database name as well. That's the way it works. And I will say that it's an encrypted connection. We just need to provide the authentication. So my admin user is Azure. I will use my database password. And I will associate the agent, right? The agent group. Then I just need to test the connection. There we go. We are connected to Azure SQL database. I save it, and I come back to the integration. There we go. So the last thing is to use that connection. I will send PO to Azure SQL database. I will choose this native adapter just discovers the different kind of operations. So this is a CRUD operation. I just need to select to do a merge, let's say, insert or update. I will use my Azure SQL schema, DB Oracle CloudWorld schema. There you go, my purchase order table. I imported to load the metadata of that database, and that's it. So you see, it's really, really, really easy. And then I just need to map the information from the PO stream into my Azure SQL database, right? So here you can see the column. So I will use the number as my order ID in the database, the status, the creation date, the procurement business unit, the build business unit, the requisition business unit, the supplier name, the buyer name, the order amount, the total tax amount, and the total amount, total order. I validate the mapping, I close it, I save it, then I just need to define the tracking fields. So I will use the order number and the order status. Okay, good. That's my tracking fields to monitor the integration, and that's it. We just need to activate our consumer integration flow, and there we go. We are done with the two integration flows. So the next step is to test that procurement analyst can go to here to Oracle ERP Cloud, and then whenever a purchase order is created or updated, we will see, like the results here. I logged in as a procurement manager, so I will go to procurement, purchase orders, and I will create a new PO. Okay, so here I go to manage orders in Oracle Fusion Azure Cloud, and I'm gonna search for the POs. Okay, so the last one is US 164-281, and if we check here, our Azure SQL database, okay, so we don't have anything here. Okay, so let's create a new PO. So I'm gonna create a new PO. So let's assume that I want to buy monitors from Amazon. Okay, so we'll create that PO. The PO is going to be created as a draft PO, and then I will add one item here. So I will create one item. That is monitors. That is what I want to buy. So let's add them. Monitors was the category here. I have monitors as category name. The quantity, let's assume that I have a lot of money, so I want to buy 50 monitors. I select the unit of measure. In this case, I will do it like that. And let's assume that each monitor costs, I don't know, like $145.99, right? There we go. So I will submit this US 164-282. So in a couple of seconds, we should see how this is reflected in real time, okay, into our Azure SQL. So US 164-282 PO was created here. So if I check for the PO, it's in pending approval. So my ERP system, ERP instance, the demo instance, approves automatically all the orders. Okay, so in a couple of seconds, we should see here in the monitoring of the integrations, we should see how it will work for purchase order US 164-282. Okay, so let's search it again to see if the status is now open. Okay, it's open. There we go. So here we have the producer integration flow, which you can see. So we captured the event, we send it to our Kafka topic PO stream, and then our integration, or the business parameters around our integration. So we consume from the Kafka topic and we send it to Azure SQL database, right? So if we check for Azure, we should see, if we run the query, there we go, order number US 164-282, right? That is this one, right? And it's in open status, unit, Amazon, Rod Calvin, order amount. So you see it's 7,299, 693, 7. If we check for this is the same amount. So there we go. We have created two integration flows and enable a PO fit solution in real time and with a low code, no code approach.
Coming back to the presentation, what's the Oracle Cloud infrastructure architecture that makes this possible? So this is our low-code approach for an event-driven multi-cloud purchase order feeds from Oracle ERP Cloud to Microsoft Azure SQL Database. So in green, you can see this is Oracle ERP Cloud. And with red, we have the different Oracle Cloud services like Oracle Integration Cloud, Oracle Streaming, our Kafka-based service. And in blue, you have the Azure resources, in this case, the VM, where we host the connectivity agent and Azure SQL Database. So the multi-cloud architecture here and event-driven is covered by Oracle Integration Cloud adapters. So we are using ERP Cloud Adapter to subscribe to ERP Cloud business events like purchase order events. And you want to subscribe to whenever a payable invoice is created or approved or canceled, you can do it using the ERP Cloud Adapter. And if you want to enrich the information that you are receiving from ERP Cloud, you might use the same adapter in Oracle Integration Cloud to enrich the data and get the details of that purchase order or payable invoice. And then we are going to use the OCI streaming adapter in Flow 2 to send those PO feeds or ERP Cloud business events to a specific topic in OCI streaming. So once we have that, we're going to have the first consumer in this that is specific to this solution that is going to consume the purchase order feeds from Oracle Cloud Streaming using the OCI streaming adapter. And then we are using the Microsoft SQL database, Azure SQL database adapter to send those PO feeds to Azure SQL database. But again, leveraging the connectivity agent that allows us to privately access private resources. So in this case, we deploy the connectivity agent within the same private subnet where the Azure SQL database is. And if you see, we could have multiple consumer integration flows that could fit not only an Azure SQL database, maybe your supplier system needs to receive these PO feeds, and that supplier system is an Microsoft Dynamics application, or is an application that is exposed in another vendor like Google Cloud, and you might want to feed a Google BigQuery data lake. So you might want to use these kind of adapters and this kind of event-driven approach to be able to consume and feed multiple systems at the same time. So thank you very much, guys, for joining this session. If you are interested in seeing how Oracle Integration Cloud can be combined with other OCI AI language services like sentiment analysis, I invite you to attend this session, Learning 1300 AI-based service ticket classification, where I'm going to show how you can classify automatically tickets based on negative tweets coming from Twitter. And also, I'm going to perform a lighting session in the hub, delivering an event-driven real-time sentiment analysis dashboard. And you could be part of that session because the idea is that you can tweet positively or negatively about a specific hashtag. And we're going to see how we combine integration, AI language service, and even Oracle Visual Builder and Oracle Analytics Cloud service to enable this kind of real-time Twitter sentiment analysis dashboard that could keep your referrals high. So thank you very much, and see you another time. Thank you.